On day 2, Sanders and Grassley revealed how Dems shot themselves in the feet. By US4Trump.com. Sarah Huckabee Sanders joined Fox News today and gave her feedback on the chaos the Democrats literally created during the Kavanaugh hearing yesterday. Sarah stated the hearing and their antics is an embarrassment for Democrats, while Senator Grassley gave candid statistics during today's opening statement. Let's just take a listen instead of repeating what they're going to say.
So let's bring in White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders to get her reaction. Sarah, what'd you make of this?
Look, I thought it was an embarrassment for the Democrat Party, but frankly, not surprising at all. Unfortunately, we know they've been trying to use these ridiculous delay tactics. They've been opposing Kavanaugh before he was even nominated. They were speaking out, saying they wouldn't support President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court. And what we saw yesterday was really an embarrassment by the Democrats. But frankly, I also think it's great news for Republicans, because if this is what we're up against in 2018, and particularly the auditions that we saw for the 2020 presidential race that took place yesterday, I think we're in great shape and we're going to look really good in both 2018 and 2020.
Well, Sarah, you work in the White House. There are a bunch of documents that the Democrats say they need, in addition to the 500,000 they've already got. They're from the Bush White House when he was a staff secretary and he shuffled the papers across the president's desk. Yesterday it was very clear by Mr. Grassley that those are privileged and those should not be seen. Can you make that argument? Can you explain that for us, why those should remain privileged or executive privilege or whatever it is?
Look, the big point here is that, once again, Democrats opposed Kavanaugh before they even knew who he was. This isn't about documents. It's about ridiculous political ploys that the Democrats are trying to play. Exactly. Kavanaugh and his team and our team here at the White House have turned over hundreds of thousands of pages of documents. There's also tons of public opinion and record that have been out on Kavanaugh. If Democrats can't figure out whether they're a yes or no based off of all of that, frankly, they shouldn't be in the Senate. I don't think that it's that hard to ask the questions that they have of Kavanaugh. Stop grandstanding, start asking questions that you have to this individual, and see if you think he's qualified, and then make a decision. It is absolutely ridiculous, the games that they're playing, and let's let the process play out. Let Kavanaugh answer these questions. If you're concerned that you don't think he's good enough, then put those questions to the test and put that on full display, which we hope we'll see today. And I guarantee you that Kavanaugh is going to deliver on every single one of those things, because he's unquestionably qualified. We've seen people from the left and the right that are the greatest judicial minds come out in support of Kavanaugh, and we fully expect the Senate to move through, quit playing games, and confirm him.
So Bob Woodward's book is coming out Tuesday. Excerpts are out, including a tape, 12-minute tape of the president talking to Bob Woodward, regretting he didn't sit down and talk to him. Looking at the excerpt that we've already seen and hearing that conversation, did the communication staff make a mistake not making sure the president sat down with Bob Woodward to at least get his point of view on this, give him a chance to refute some of these horrific things and descriptions they say came from his staff?
Look, there's no doubt the president is his own best advocate. He has an incredible story to tell, and that's why he does that every single day. That's why he gives speeches, roundtables, and talks about not only the successes that we've had, but the other things that we're going to do over the next 6 years that he's in office. Once again, this is a president who's been incredibly accessible.
But just sitting down with Bob Woodward, Sarah, do you think it was a mistake not going out of your way to sit down with him, judging by what he put out there, and the president doesn't get his side of the story out?
Certainly, again, the president's his own best storyteller and his own best advocate for his policies. But I think more important than that we've seen are the things that have come out after this book from General Mattis, General Kelly, pushing back on these fictitious claims that this book seems to be filled with that we've seen so far.
So this is the president's most recent tweet this morning.
Just out.
Yeah, isn't it a shame that someone can write an article or book, totally make up stories, and form a picture of a person that is literally the exact opposite of the fact, and get away with it without retribution or cost? Don't know why Washington politicians don't change libel laws. What's your reaction to that? Because he's disputing what Bob Woodward is claiming that some people that work in the administration are saying about the president. One saying he's an idiot, and the president saying that's all false, and people in the administration said they never told Bob Woodward that.
Look, I think once again, it's clear that you have the accounts from people firsthand that have spent there, and they're on the record, which is very different than what this book is filled with. It's full of anonymous quotes from disgruntled former employees versus people who have been in the administration from day one. Myself, I've been working for the president for 3 years, and I can tell you what I've seen so far out of this book is nothing of what is going on in the building behind me. If the things that were said in this book were true, there's no way that this president could be as successful as he's been. It's hard to argue with the fact that this president has had the most successful first 2 years of any president in modern history, with tax cuts, ISIS is on the run, remaking of the judiciary, historic deregulation. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Remaking the court system completely, and rebuilding our military. There's just the list we put out yesterday was a small fraction of some of the success that we've had, and it's a full 3 pages long, and we're going to continue doing that day after day, and the president's going to keep fulfilling the promise that he made to the American people during the campaign and keep ticking off things on his agenda.
Actually, you sound like the Wall Street Journal. One of their lead editorials this morning, written by James Freeman, talks about how if it's such a chaotic White House, why is this president getting so much done?
Exactly. And then this is Chuck Grassley makes day 2 remarks.
Good morning, everybody, and we welcome everybody back again, and especially Judge Kavanaugh and his wife Ashley. Yesterday, each senator made their opening remarks. We also heard from 3 people who had the honor of introducing Judge Kavanaugh: Secretary Rice, Senator Portman, and Attorney Lisa Blatt. And we heard for the first time directly from Judge Kavanaugh. He made a powerful, compelling, and convincing statement demonstrating his exceptional background and qualifications to serve our nation's highest court. NBC News reported that Democratic members of the committee plotted with the minority leader to disrupt the hearing yesterday. Democratic senators interrupted the hearing 63 times before lunch, and in the audience, 70 people were arrested yesterday who were following their lead. All probably very constitutionally prepared to do that, doing what the Constitution says, the right of freedom of speech, but we also were able to finally conduct our hearing the way it should be conducted. Yesterday was just an opening statement. It was only our time as committee members.
What I can't understand is why would Grassley's mic be cut down and the person that is protesting is heard so clearly at this point, right around here.
Yesterday was just an opening statement. It was only our time as committee.
You notice that when the guy was speaking in the audience, Grassley's mic was cut down, and the audience, the microphone was turned on towards the audience. I mean, that is really disgusting. So somebody working the microphone in the background did some nasty business there. Really nasty business.
Yesterday was just an opening statement. It was only our time as committee members that we wasted.
Now they turned up his microphone right at the end, but they let the people in the audience. So whoever's handling that job, I got news for you, they're dirty dealers.
On disruption and disorder over procedural matters. But today is different.
We'll go on all day.
Stop the slaughter of our children over second
Your advice was to wait.
My advice was just
And they cut the mic where her advice is. Oh, he did. Okay.
Senator Grassley, I take offense. I called out Senator Durbin. I don't see how you can say that I was working with Senator Durbin. I'm from the state and I called him out specifically that we are not working with the Democrats. We are working for ourselves.
Bunch of nut jobs.
It was our time as committee members yesterday to make our case. Today is different. Today is the day that the American people are supposed to hear from the nominee. This morning, we'll begin our questioning of Judge Kavanaugh.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, they're all nuts. How about that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.